The way people describe you in your absence reveal more than they probably intended. So today we're going to touch base on how people describe you when you're not around. This is going to be a collective reading, so there are no piles. So just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And if you are looking for my additional pick a card readings, you could find them on my Patreon channel, okay? So, how people describe you when you're not around? 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 Ooh, we have the death card. You could be a Scorpio. They describe you as someone who is intimidating because we have like scorpionic energy. So a little bit intimidating, intense, powerful, okay, vibrant, magnetic with the death card. That's how people describe you when you're not around. How people describe you when you're not around. Ooh, we have the Four of Pentacles. Um, Controlled, contained. There is some sort of self-restraint energy around you with the Four of Pentacles. That's how people describe you when you're not around. How people describe you when you're not around. Ooh, we have the Devil. Okay, you could be a Capricorn here. Powerful, intense. You see that intense energy, especially with Death card being here as well. Yeah, you're powerful, you're intense, intimidating for sure. You have a strong presence to you. Every time you walk into a room, people I don't know, like I don't know why I heard they part like the Red Sea. Okay, people make space for you when you walk into a room. You are intimidating with the devil energy and the death card, but it's not like an intimidation where people are scared of you because like you're toxic. It's more like because you're powerful. You have a strong presence. It's like you're also kind of hard to read. You're hard to influence. How people describe you when you're not around, they describe you as someone, wow, with the Seven of Swords, someone who is strategic. Yeah, like mysterious, hard to read. Okay, someone who's methodical, someone who moves in silence with the Seven of Swords. Okay, with the Devil, I'm also getting like someone who is hardworking, like has amazing work ethics as well. Dedicated and ambitious. Okay, with the Devil. So how people describe you when you're not around? Ooh, we have the Seven of Cups. Okay, there's many layers to you. That's how people describe you. Like you're hard to read for that reason because there's so many layers. Like people cannot pinpoint like the type of person you are. They can't box you in with the Seven of Cups. People tend to project onto you their own fantasies or desires onto you because Seven of Cups is Neptunian energy. So people may project their fantasies. Okay, so how people describe you when you're not around? How people describe you when you're, ooh, we have the Sun, vibrant, confident, flamboyant, okay, successful. Some people may describe you as a show off because you take up a lot of space without trying. It's like you don't take up space like a bully or trying to, bully people or impose your like your views or your way of doing things on people or trying to put people down because you think you're better. With the Sun card is really about you walking with your head held high, your confidence being, off the roof, and you're feeling yourself. And there's nothing wrong with feeling yourself because it's not like you're feeling yourself and you're trying to put someone else down at the same time. You're not doing that. You're just being confident in who you are, confident in your skill set. But there's also an energy of positivity, radiance that you exude that people describe you as, okay? Somebody who is extremely confident, somebody who's extremely positive, successful, okay? Inspiring. That's how people describe you when you're not around. How people describe you when you're not around? We have how people describe you when you're not around. Just one card, please, Spirit. We have the Knight of Wands. Yeah, adventurous, bold. Your confidence is something that people admire, but also are intimidated by because they know they cannot, not, like bring your self-esteem down, your confidence down. They know with the Knight of Wands and the Sun being here. And some people, it's intimidating for them because they want to be able to knock you down a peg, but they can't. Okay, so how people describe you when you're not around? They describe you as somebody who's accomplished. With the World card, I'm getting like foreign energy. So you might be in a land where you are a foreigner. You're not native to that land. And that could be for a lot of people because, especially if you're in the Western side, you know, unless you are like Native American, you are a foreigner. Okay. So like I'm getting like something like that, but or maybe like you're just not part of that. I don't know why I'm getting like society or social circle. You might be a foreigner in that social circle in terms of like you might be new, or maybe you were invited by someone else vouched for you. Like I'm getting like social club energy, okay? And then sometimes in those social clubs there's cliques and there's like bullies and stuff like that. So I'm getting like maybe there's like a clique within that social group that are threatened by your competence, because we have the World card. This is an accomplished, so coming full circle with the World card. So how people describe you when you're not around? Ooh, we have the Empress. Wow. Okay. You could be a Libra or a Taurus here, but the way that people describe you, they describe you as someone who's very creative, abundant, beautiful, feminine, okay? Attractive, aesthetically pleasing to the eyes, okay? With the Empress energy, but extremely abundant. How people describe you when you're not around? We have the Knight of Cups, charming. I heard seductive, and that makes sense because we also have the devil here. But I'm getting like with the Knight of Cups, like you're very seductive, okay? Not in a way where you're trying to get something out of people, but you just have this charm to you, seductive charm to you with the Knight of Cups. And that's how people describe you when you're not around. Easy to be around. You have an easy demeanor, like your demeanor when people get to know you. I feel like initially they may experience like the devil and the death card type of energy where it's very powerful, but the moment that they get to know you, it's like they see the different layers that you have because of the Knight of Cups and the Empress. That Empress and the Knight of Cups is only for people that you trust. The ones that you don't trust, they don't really get to see that side of you. How people, yeah, you see the Queen of Cups, emotionally intelligent, loving, nurturing, understanding, empathetic. That's how people describe you when you're not around, but only if they had a chance to get to know you on a deeper level. The people that only know you on surface level with the Seven of Cups, they may have distorted views of you because it's not accurate. It's based on their projection. How people describe you when you're not around? How people describe you? Ooh, you see? Oh my gosh. Yeah, loving the people that get to experience the Empress side of you. They see you as a loving individual. They see you as someone who's very charming, like dedicated. The Two of Cups, it's like giving the way that people describe you, they describe you as the ideal lover. Okay, with the Two of Cups, an amazing partner, someone to build something solid with, okay? Collaborative, heartfelt, like connections. How people describe you when you're not around? How people describe you when you're not around? How people describe you? Ooh, we have the Seven of Swords again. Selective, strategic, smart, outmaneuver. You outmaneuver someone and they could be pissed. They could be pissed that you outsmarted them with the Seven of Swords, okay? Yeah, like also people describe you as someone who may not really show your hands like that. You may not really say what's on your mind. Like you think a lot. Like I'm gonna like High Priestess energy, even though the High Priestess is not here. I'm gonna like you have High Priestess type of like energy, and you know things, you know more than you let on. With the Seven of Swords being here twice, you know more, and people could sense that. That's how they describe you. They know that there's more to you than meets the eyes, but they just can't put their finger on it. So how people describe you when you're not around, and we have 777. How people describe you when you're not around. Four of Swords. Yeah, someone who's calm, cool, and collected under pressure. Okay, you're not somebody who gets easily rattled. Okay, so how people describe you? Yeah, Ten of Cups, emotionally content, emotionally safe. That's how people describe you when you're not around. People, like I said, the people that have experienced the Empress in you see you as the Ten of Cups. The people that experience the Seven of Cups, because you are keeping them at arm's length with the Four of Pentacles, they see you as the Seven of Swords, like very selective, outmaneuvering, keeping your cards close to your chest, not showing your hands, being strategic. Okay, they have a different perception and they describe you in a different way compared to the people that actually got a chance to know you on a deeper level. They don't have the same experience. Okay, so how people describe you when you're not around? Just one card, please, Spirit. Yeah, we have the Page of Wands. They describe you as somebody who is optimistic, authentic, inspiring, with the Page of Wands. Someone who's full of life. Yeah, definitely optimistic. But you inspire people to be the best version of themselves. You also trigger competition in others. Some people may describe you as like competitive, because the Page of Wands could be competitive at times, but I feel like it's more friendly competition than it is like outright competition because your ego is bruised. So how people describe you when you're not around? How people describe you when you're not around? Ooh, you see, Three of Cups. This is like joyful, amicable energy, powerful, optimistic energy. That's how people describe you when you're not around. Like you are a great like person to be around. You are like a pleasure. You bring a lot of positive energy, positive vibes. How people describe you when you're not around? Ooh, we have the Hierophant, Taurus energy twice. This is like professionalism. So especially in your industry, people may describe you as someone who is professional, someone who gets things done, someone who's methodical, someone who operates in high standard. You understand processes, so you could work in a corporate job with the Hierophant. Yeah, it's giving corporate energy. Okay, you're described as the standard with the Hierophant. So how people describe you when you're not around? Just one card, please, Spirit. Ooh, the Tower. Unpredictable, surprisingly better than they expected. Like you're way better than someone expected you to be. They were not like, yeah, the quality, the methodical, like the way that you are just surpass someone's expectation. That's how they describe you. You surpass their expectation with the Tower. How people describe you when you're not around? Just one card. Wow, yeah, your reputation. You surpass someone's expectation of you in a positive way. Not that they had low expectation of you, but they didn't know the extent of your capabilities. Like until they saw you in action and they are impressed. They see you as impressive. That's how you're being described when you're not around. You're impressively amazing, methodical, you're a great team player. How people describe you when you're not around? How people describe you when you're not around? How people describe you when you're not around? We have, ooh, Nine of Pentacles. Luxurious. Okay, there's definitely a luxurious energy that you emanate. Self-made, proper, okay? Like, I'm getting like, with the Nine of Pentacles, this is like top tier. All right, that's how people describe you. Your methods, your methodology with the Nine of Pentacles, the way that you operate, you aim for excellence. That's why you are described as the standard. Like people measure others based on what you bring to the table. So you are the standard for success. That's how you're being described when you're not around, whether it is in love, whether it is in career, whether it is in friendship, relationship. This is how you are being described. Okay? You are the standard. Nine of Pentacles. How people describe you when you're not around. Just one card, please, Spirit. Ooh, Magician. Gemini, Virgo energy. And if you are a Gemini and it's your birthday today, happy birthday. Okay, let's say Nine of Pentacles again. With the Magician, you're very skilled and talented. Like I said, combined with the Nine of Pentacles, the Hierophant, the Empress, the Devil, the Sun, and the Death card, and the Tower. Like, if this is like a recipe for excellence, okay, above and beyond. It's like, with the Magician, you're being described as someone who is resourceful, someone who has multiple skill sets and abilities, capability. Like, your capabilities are up the roof. Like, I feel like you're also multi-talented, and that could be extremely surprising to certain people with the Tower, because maybe they only expected you to be one thing. And that could also me like the Seven of Cups, where they have a hard time categorizing you because they want to be able to put you in one specific box, but they cannot. You're so unique, you're so authentic. It's giving star energy. Even though the star is not here, that's the energy that you emanate. You're like one of a kind. That's how people describe you when you're not around. They can't put you in a box, so they have to categorize you as singleness, like unique. Okay, so how people describe you when you're not around. Just one card, please, Spirit. How people describe you when you're not around. We have the Six of Pentacles, a generous. You're a generous individual. Once somebody gets to know you and they earn your trust, you are a very giving, generous individual. How people... Ooh, Ace of Pentacles. That's the second time it comes out. Valuable. Okay? Ace of Pentacles is like, all the aces are amazing, amazing energy. Ace of Pentacles is like grounded energy, right? Valuable energy in terms of physical, something tangible like money, competence. Okay, something that you could evaluate. And with the Ace of Pentacles, the way that people describe you is that they describe you, like I said, going back to what I said, the standard. Your, like, the work ethics that you have, the capabilities, your work ethics and all that good jazz is something that people use as the benchmark to evaluate anything in their life, whether it's, like I said, love, friendship, family. Even you might be the person that other family members look up to. That's how people describe you when you're not around. It's like, look out, like, collective, what they've accomplished on their own. You should follow suit. Like, maybe you have people in your family that are secretly looking up to you, but they will never admit it because maybe they're older than you and they're looking at you like you have accomplished a lot more because of your work ethics, your tenacity, your dedication. Okay, with the Ace of Pentacles, we have a lot of aces, so you might be like an earth sign, because we also have Taurus. We have all the earth signs here because we have Taurus, we have Virgo, and Capricorn. So you could definitely be an air sign. Well, yeah, you could be an air sign because we have Gemini and Libra, but you could also be like, have a lot of earth placement, very grounded, okay, energy, and it's felt, it is noticeable. You're a dedicated individual. You're someone who, whenever you put your mind into something, you're going to get it done. And you're going to have a plan first before you execute. So this is where that methodical, strategic mind comes in. Okay? So that's all I have for my collective. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.